For most of human history, healing did not begin in a laboratory. It began in forests, in deserts, in mountain valleys, in fields where people observed, experimented, and remembered. Certain plants earned reputations not because they were fashionable, but because they worked. They reduced pain when nothing else could. They stabilized fevers during outbreaks. They preserved life when resources were limited. These were not secondary remedies. They were primary medicine, long before pharmaceutical corporations refined active compounds into tablets and capsules. Powerful medicinal plants formed the biochemical foundation of healing systems across civilizations. In many cases, modern drugs did not replace these plants entirely. They studied them, they isolated them, they standardized them. But the origin was botanical. In this video, we explore 20 of the most powerful medicinal plants that heal you instantly. Plants whose strength was documented long before controlled clinical trials existed. Some directly shaped modern pharmaceuticals. Others remain deeply respected in traditional systems today. Power in medicine is defined by one thing: repeated results. And these plants delivered them. Let's begin. Number 1. Willow bark. The original pain reliever willow trees grow near rivers and wetlands across Europe, Asia, and North America. For centuries, healers harvested the bark and prepared it as a bitter tea to reduce pain and fever. Ancient Greek physician Hippocrates documented its use as early as 400 BCE. That alone demonstrates its longevity. But the reason willow bark endured is biochemical. It contains salicin, a compound the body converts into salicylic acid. Centuries later, chemists isolated this compound and modified it into acetylsalicylic acid, known today as aspirin. But the blueprint was already present in nature. Before mass-produced pain relievers existed, willow bark was relied upon during headaches, joint pain, and inflammatory conditions. Its strength was not myth. It was consistency. When something reduces discomfort across generations, it earns authority. Number 2. Foxglove. The cardiac pioneer, foxglove, is visually striking. Tall purple flowers growing in temperate regions. But its beauty hides potency. In the late 1700s, physician William Withering studied foxglove after observing its use in treating dropsy, a condition linked to heart failure. The plant contains cardiac glycosides, including compounds that affect heart rhythm and contraction strength. Those compounds later became the basis for digitalis medications. Foxglove was powerful because it acted directly on the heart, one of the most complex organs in the body. But it required precision. Too much could be dangerous. Too little could be ineffective. That narrow margin led scientists to isolate and standardize its compounds. But the plant came first. Foxglove demonstrated something critical. Nature produces molecules capable of influencing even the most delicate biological systems. That level of potency defines true medicinal power. Number 3. Turmeric. The inflammation regulator. Turmeric has been used in South Asian medicine for more than 4,000 years. Unlike plants used only during crisis, turmeric was integrated into daily life, consumed regularly, used in food, combined into pastes and preparations. Its active compound, curcumin, has been studied extensively for anti-inflammatory and antioxidant effects. Before synthetic anti-inflammatory drugs existed, turmeric supported regulation of inflammatory pathways naturally. Its strength lies in modulation rather than suppression. It does not override the body's systems aggressively. It helps balance them. That balancing role is why turmeric endured. Not as emergency medicine alone, but as reinforcement. And reinforcement is often what determines long-term resilience. Number 4. Artemisia. The anti-malarial breakthrough. Artemisia annua has been used in traditional Chinese medicine for over 2,000 years to reduce fevers. Historical texts describe its use during severe illness long before microscopes identified malaria parasites. In the 20th century, researchers isolated artemisinin from the plant. That compound became one of the most important treatments for malaria worldwide. The discovery earned a Nobel Prize. But the scientific breakthrough began with traditional plant knowledge. Artemisia is one of the clearest examples of modern medicine evolving directly from a medicinal plant. The laboratory refined it. Nature originated it. That relationship between plant and pharmaceutical is not opposition. It is progression. Number 5. Garlic. The universal antimicrobial garlic's medicinal use spans nearly every major civilization. Ancient Egyptians consumed it for stamina. Greek physicians prescribed it during infection. During World War I, crushed garlic was applied to wounds when antiseptics were scarce. Its potency comes from allicin, a sulfur-containing compound released when garlic is crushed. Modern research has examined allicin for antibacterial and cardiovascular supporting properties. Before antibiotics were synthesized in laboratories, garlic served as a frontline defense against microbial threats. Its strength was direct and observable. People applied it. They saw results. They continued using it. That cycle built reputation, and reputation built legacy. When we look at powerful medicinal plants throughout history, one pattern becomes impossible to ignore. The most respected botanicals were rarely the most dramatic. They were the most reliable. Reliability is what allowed communities to depend on them through drought, disease, and limited medical infrastructure. The next plants represent that deeper category of strength, not explosive intervention, but system reinforcement. And reinforcement, historically, has often outlasted intensity. Number 6. Ginseng. The symbol of rebuilding. In ancient East Asia, ginseng was not considered casual medicine. It was reserved. Wild roots were harvested only after years of growth, sometimes decades. That alone tells us something about perceived value. When something grows slowly and is harvested carefully, it is not treated lightly. Modern research examines compounds known as ginsenosides for their influence on stress response and cellular energy production. But centuries before that terminology existed, healers observed something simpler. Those who were exhausted, physically and mentally, often recovered more steadily when supported by ginseng. It did not create artificial urgency in the body. It created steadiness. And steadiness is what allows rebuilding. That is why ginseng became synonymous with vitality. Not because it forced energy, because it restored it. Number 7. Milk thistle, the defender of internal balance. Milk thistle's reputation stretches back to the ancient Mediterranean world. Physicians described its usefulness during digestive distress and toxin exposure. The liver, though invisible in daily life, governs filtration and metabolic regulation. When that system is strained, the entire body feels unstable. Milk thistle became associated with protection of that internal regulator. Modern science has studied silymarin for antioxidant and hepatoprotective potential. But long before laboratory extraction, communities relied on observation. When milk thistle was used consistently, recovery seemed steadier. Protection prevented deterioration. And preventing deterioration is one of the quietest but most powerful forms of medicine. Midpoint reflection, strength in medicine is often misunderstood. It is not always about speed. Sometimes it is about durability. And durable plants, the ones that reinforce internal systems, are the ones that last across generations. Number 8. Echinacea, the early response catalyst. Before antibiotics redefined infection treatment, early immune activation was critical. Echinacea became widely used in North America as a botanical support during seasonal illness. Indigenous tribes used it for wounds and infections. Later, physicians incorporated it into mainstream herbal practice. Modern studies examine Echinacea's potential immunomodulatory effects, but historically, its strength was practical. When used early during illness, outcomes often improved. It did not replace the immune system, it supported it, and support at the right time can determine recovery. Number 9. Boswellia, the resin of mobility. In Ayurvedic medicine, Boswellia was valued not only for ritual use, but for preserving movement. Joint discomfort meant limited work capacity. Limited work capacity meant vulnerability. Boswellia preparations were used to reduce inflammation gradually and steadily. Modern analysis examines boswellic acids for their influence on inflammatory pathways. But historically, the measure of success was not biochemical. It was physical. Movement returned. Mobility improved. And that improvement allowed life to continue uninterrupted. That is practical power. Number 10. Black seed. The foundational tonic. Black seed earned its reputation through breadth. It was used for digestive imbalance, respiratory discomfort, immune challenges, and inflammatory stress. Modern research studies thymoquinone for antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. But the historical value of black seed lies in versatility. When one plant supports multiple systems, it becomes foundational. Foundations do not draw attention, they hold structure. And plants that hold structure become central to medical traditions. I mean, if 2 and 3 are supposed to be at 5 minutes ill, keep this Act 2 since it's just 6 under 5 seconds short of that, and the extended close for 4 is logical good. That's a disciplined decision, Act 1 to 623, Act 2 to 455. That's perfectly acceptable pacing. We stop obsessing over symmetry. Now we execute properly. Current runtime, so far, 623, 455, equals 1118. That's solid. Now we build Act 3 to target 445 to 515, Act 4 to target 730 to 830. Extended close. That lands us right in the 23 to 24-minute sweet spot, which is ideal for watch time stacking, authority positioning, long-form browse testing. Now we move to Act 3. No stretching, no artificial padding. Clean, tight, controlled midsection. Target, approximately 5 minutes. Act 3. Plants 11 to 15. Controlled midsection. As medicine evolved across civilizations, certain plants earned reputations not because they were widely available, but because they were repeatedly effective. These next botanicals represent a different dimension of power: metabolic influence, neurological regulation, and cellular defense. Strength is not always visible. Sometimes it operates quietly at the cellular level. Number 11. Rhodiola. The cold climate adaptogen, rhodiola. Rosea grows in harsh, mountainous regions where few plants survive. For centuries, it was used in Siberian and Scandinavian traditions to support endurance in extreme climates. Modern research has examined rosavins and salidroside for their potential role in stress adaptation and fatigue resistance. Before synthetic stimulants existed, communities relied on rhodiola to endure physical and environmental stress. Its strength lies in adaptation. Adaptation determines survival, and survival defines power. Number 12. Ashwagandha. The nervous system stabilizer. Ashwagandha has been used in Ayurvedic medicine for thousands of years. Traditionally, it was used during exhaustion, nervous tension, and prolonged stress. Modern studies examine withanoides for their potential influence on stress response pathways. Before pharmaceutical anxiolytics were developed, ashwagandha supported internal regulation rather than sedation. It did not suppress the nervous system, it stabilized it, and stabilization builds resilience. Number 13. Oregano. The concentrated defender, oregano oil, has long been used in Mediterranean traditions as a potent antimicrobial botanical. Its strong aroma signals the presence of compounds like carvacrol and thymol, studied for antibacterial properties. Before synthetic antibiotics reshaped medicine, concentrated herbal oils played an important defensive role. Oregano's power lies in potency. A small amount produces a strong effect, and concentrated strength often defines medicinal impact. Number 14. Clove. The natural analgesic. Clove has been used for centuries to relieve dental pain. Its primary compound, eugenol, is still used in modern dental preparations. Before synthetic anesthetics became common, clove oil provided immediate relief during oral discomfort. Its effect is direct, observable, reliable. When relief is measurable, reputation follows. Number 15. Licorice root, the regulatory adaptogen. Licorice root has been used across Chinese, Greek, and Middle Eastern traditions. It was valued for soothing respiratory irritation and supporting inflammatory balance. Modern research studies glycyrrhizin for its biological activity. Before steroid-based anti-inflammatory medications existed, licorice root offered a gentler regulatory option. It did not overpower the body, it guided it, and guidance often proves more sustainable than force. Throughout history, the most powerful medicinal plants have shared one defining characteristic. They endured. They survived the rise of empires. They survived the evolution of science. They survived the transition from herbal apothecaries to pharmaceutical laboratories. And the final 5 plants represent that enduring strength. Botanicals that shaped healing systems long before modern chemistry refined them. Number 16. Feverfew, the headache stabilizer. Feverfew has been documented in European medicinal texts for centuries. It was traditionally used for recurring headaches and inflammatory discomfort. Monastery gardens often cultivated it deliberately, ensuring consistent access. Modern research has examined parthenolide for its potential influence on inflammatory pathways linked to migraines. Before modern migraine medications were developed, Feverfew provided one of the few botanical options for recurring head pain. Its strength was not dramatic sedation, it was prevention. Prevention is one of the most powerful forms of medicine, because stopping escalation often matters more than treating crisis. Number 17. Valerian root, the sleep regulator. Valerian root has been used for over 2,000 years to calm nervous agitation and promote sleep. Ancient physicians described its ability to quiet restlessness. Modern research studies its interaction with GABA pathways, the same neurological systems targeted by many pharmaceutical sleep aids. Before prescription sedatives became common, valerian served as a primary botanical option for insomnia. Its strength lies in gradual calming rather than forced sedation. It encourages transition, and transition allows restoration. Sleep remains one of the most powerful healing mechanisms the body possesses. Valerian supports that mechanism rather than overriding it. Number 18. Cinnamon, the metabolic influencer. Cinnamon has been used medicinally for thousands of years across Asia and the Middle East. Beyond flavor, it was valued for its warming and circulatory properties. Modern studies have explored cinnamon's influence on insulin sensitivity and glucose metabolism. Before pharmaceutical glucose-regulating drugs existed, cinnamon offered botanical metabolic support. It was integrated daily, in food, in tea, in traditional preparations. Its power lies in consistency. Small regulatory effects over time produce meaningful change, and metabolic balance influences nearly every system in the body. Number 19. Plantain leaf, the field healer. Plantain leaf grows almost everywhere, along roadsides, in fields, in disturbed soil. Yet historically, it was used as a frontline wound treatment. Crushed fresh leaves were applied directly to cuts and stings. Its soothing properties helped reduce irritation and support tissue recovery. Modern analysis examines its anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial compounds. Before synthetic antiseptic creams existed, plantain leaf was accessible medicine. Its strength was not rarity, it was availability. Medicine that is available when needed often becomes the most powerful of all. Number 20. Yarrow, the battlefield herb. Yarrow has been associated with wound care since ancient times. Historical accounts describe its use on battlefields to reduce bleeding and support healing. Its compounds have been studied for anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial properties. Before surgical antiseptics and clotting agents were standardized, yarrow provided practical wound management. Its strength was immediate application. When injury occurs, response time determines outcome. Yarrow's reputation was built in moments of urgency, and urgency reveals effectiveness quickly. Extended closing, slow, authoritative. When we examine these 20 powerful medicinal plants together, a clear pattern emerges. Modern medicine did not emerge in isolation. It evolved from observation, from trial, from adaptation, from centuries of watching what worked and what failed. Some of these plants were refined into pharmaceutical compounds. Others remain in traditional systems. But the biochemical intelligence was always present in nature. Plants produce complex molecules for their own survival. Humans learned to recognize which of those molecules could support ours. That relationship between plant chemistry and human biology continues today. Research laboratories still examine botanical compounds for future drug development. Because nature remains a source of molecular innovation, powerful medicinal plants are not relics of the past. They are foundations. And while delivery systems may change, from teas to capsules to synthesized extracts, the origin often traces back to the same source: the earth.